Hello class, my name is Brandon Davis and I wanted to give you this presentation on my business venture. This is a self-storage facility. I named it after my last name. To start, self-storage is a provider of space for consumers all over the world. I did this presentation, one, because this is an industry in which I work in. I have for the past year and a half or so for a company that actually provides technology to different storage facilities. This is an industry that I knew nothing about probably 2 years ago. I've been introduced. I talk to facility managers, owners all the time, and I've realized it's quite an investment, but something that will definitely benefit for the long term. This industry is growing rapidly, has an annual revenue of $38 billion. On average, a facility charges around $89 a month just to rent one storage unit for a tenant. So if you're driving down the street, you'll notice a lot of storage facilities practically in any city that you go to nowadays. Um, and to add on to that, facilities also range. They have a variety of different units that um, you can rent, which will give you different options when you go in there. So my business venture is right now I'm in the downtown Phoenix area. I've lived there for the past couple months. Notice that there's definitely storage facilities on the outskirts of Phoenix, but nothing really downtown, maybe two or three, depending on where you're at. With Phoenix, you have the issue with heat. So Davis Self-Storage, the big push will be the climate controlled units, which will have the ability to adjust the temperature, make sure anyone's property is in the right temperature, not melting, um, anything like that. Covered parking is the second thing I'd emphasize, which is just outdoor parking for people who need something to protect their vehicle, boat, RV, something from the sun. This is also an issue in downtown with parking. If you live in an apartment, you're only allowed a certain amount of parking spaces. So if you're nearby, you could also rent from us for parking, easy access in and out. And then, of course, the vault storage is something that I'm going to definitely try. This is something I've worked with other clients with my company with. It's just a more secure type of storage unit. I'm hoping to incorporate businesses in the area to use this for valuable paperwork products, in a restaurant, maybe some alcohol, different kind of things like that. So definitely something I want to expand on. So my target market will be the local businesses, college students, a lot of universities downtown in Phoenix, and then also people living in downtown. Like I said, the parking spaces would be a great opportunity. The company I do work for is called Open Tech Alliance. The logo there is on the bottom. We provide self-leasing kiosks, almost like what you'd order a meal from McDonald's today. These will allow tenants to come to the facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to rent, sign a leasing agreement, and then access a storage unit to put their items into. I'll also use them for my web development collection software. Collection software is something that allows tenants to pay rents more easily with, and then a gate system that I will have. It will make tenants be able to exit, enter the facility just by using a mobile app, and then I will also be able to close the gate, open the gate from my laptop or from anywhere, any location. Davis Self-Storage will provide lower prices and offer a free first month's rent to overcome some competition in the area. I will talk about the financials of that in a second. Here's just a couple graphs on the demand in Phoenix. The first one is the average price of a storage unit in Arizona. You can see how the price per unit has drastically increased within the past couple years, and it's definitely increasing going into 2019. Storage demand in Phoenix by month. Thought this was interesting. Um, Probably April through August are the most busiest months. In the winter, it starts to slow down a little bit, but still pretty high throughout the year. It's not something that's drastically changing throughout the year. So I definitely wanted to show you that before getting too in depth. All right, so Here's a couple facilities in downtown Phoenix, some competition. According to sparefoot.com, most storage facilities are charging 40 to 100, $25 per month for rent. For example, the closest storage facilities to the downtown area are a CubeSmart facility, which I have listed here. They're charging around, let's say it looks like 55.25 for their smallest unit, which is just a 5 by 5. Pretty high if you ask me. And then there's some other facilities, Storage Sense, Life Storage on the outskirts of the city. They're a little cheaper, but definitely as you notice going further downtown, you get the higher prices. So I'm hoping to provide a more affordable option. Some strengths. I plan to have a great location. Of course, that comes with a high price, but that will also provide it self-marketing and just an easier way for tenants to get to their things. So downtown, I'm looking for a plot of land that is near the city, maybe a little off the main strip there, but definitely 5-10 minutes from the actual downtown area. I will provide the variety of self-storage options that I mentioned, at least 3 different sizes. Customers can rent 24/7. My goal is to have low prices, at least for the first year, to get tenants in there, get them running. The first month will definitely benefit them as well, but kind of hold back my revenue for a longer period of time. Here is the prices that I plan on charging during the first year. Hopefully this will stay if as planned. $30 for a 5 by 5, 45 for a 5 by 10, 105 for a larger 10 by 10 unit, $250 for that security vault storage, the more secure option, and then just $40 for covered parking. These are all monthly prices. Projected to have an 80% occupancy rate after the first year, meaning I plan to fill all of the units, or at least 80% of them, by the end of the first year. I will be doing a couple things to make sure this is happening, but I hope the 80% definitely increases going into the second and third year. Technology will also help this. The facility, I hope to be unmanned after the first year, meaning I will not have anyone working there. It's going to be what tenants will do is rent from the website, rent from the kiosk, and it will be unmanned, so easy to manage. Weaknesses. Definitely the high initial investment for the land building technology will be the biggest weakness. On average, a storage facility will be about 60 to 80,000 net rentable square feet, costing around 45 to 65 per square foot to construct. And this has a break-even operating expense in the 40 to 60% range on a total stabilized income. This might even be more expensive for downtown Phoenix. Haven't checked exact pricing, but that's just the average. It will take longer to break even due to this larger investment, especially when I'm offering the first month free. No income until the facility is built, but I will allow tenants to start renting before the facility actually opens. So I'll have tenants coming in right when we open, ready to go. Customers will be able to rent units at least 2 months before. Rent collection. A weakness with storage facilities is that you're always having to remind people to pay you rent. There's an automatic collection available, but if their cards are declined or if they didn't sign up for that, you're always going to have to be trying to get rent. Having good tenants in there is key. Express Collect software is another service provided by my current company that allows you to send text messages out to tenants with a payment link, making it easier for them to pay you. Gives it also a reminder. If they aren't paying, I will definitely be doing auctions to get rid of delinquencies, move them out of the unit. If they're not paying, that's a bad business model. So going through that is definitely a process, but something I would do in order to increase revenue. Opportunities, vault storage, I think will be definitely targeted at the local businesses, like I mentioned earlier. Expansion or opening multiple locations. All these top operators like U-Haul, Extra Space, CubeSmart are always building or buying new facilities and from small company owners like myself. So if they're offering a good price, would not be a bad idea to sell that property and open up another one maybe in Scottsdale, Mesa, some surrounding areas to expand the business. So that would definitely help fund other properties. Threats, the operators that I just mentioned. Here's a couple pictures of some facilities on the outskirts of Phoenix. Most top operators are in the area, so that thing I've noticed over the last year or two is that tenants aren't really focused on the name, the brand on there. They're focused about location, price. Those are the two keys, and what's available. Yes, these life storage, these extra spaces have great names, they have great brands, they have respect in the industry, but as a tenant, what are you really looking for? Price, location. These companies are always acquiring new properties, they're always fluctuating prices to make sure they're making the most money. So that might be a downfall to them and something I will be able to build on. Consumers do not rent brand specific. So the first year cash budget, the 700,000 loan to help cover startup costs. I have a feeling that might be a little low, so I might need to increase that. The loan repayment will start as soon as possible, so that's not a long-term payment I'm having to make. Revenue won't actually show up until the end of July. The building will take about half a year, and then the first month free of rent will be in June. So July will be the first month. Money is invested into the website marketing before the company opens to bring people in before it even opens. An employee will be hired during the first year to launch the business to make sure everything is starting up correctly. Like I mentioned, though, I plan to have it unmanned after the second year. Number of facilities. The number of units within the facility, excuse me. The facility will be 2 stories. It'll have 40 10 by 10 units, 50 5 by 10, 65 5 by 5, 45 covered parking spaces, and then 10 vault storage units to give you an idea. Here you can see the numbers a little bit as you notice the January through June, there's no revenue in there. Next to the different inflow asset options, you have all the pricing options. And the prices I kind of generated, I predicted as the occupancy grows from July to December, so does the revenue per storage unit. So I just made a prediction of how many units I'd rent per month and then added the totals together. So there you see the total inflow being 769,350 just for the first year. Advertising, I started early as outflows. E-commerce is the website fee, just getting that up and running beforehand. The employee salary won't start till June. And then you see the loan repayments, interest starting beforehand. The 3-year income statement is presented here. Loan repayment will be the largest expense. The payment will increase over the next 3 years to knock it out, decrease the amount of interest that's built up on it, and break even faster. The second year will have a significant increase in revenue and capacity. So year 1, you're only seeing the 54,350. Year 2, it's jumping up almost more than half of that. As I increase people in the facility and I'm increasing the amount of months throughout the year which I'm collecting revenue. Some things that do get a little bit more expensive is the tenant and business insurance. And then depreciation will start taking a toll during year 2. The 3-year balance sheet is presented here. The self-leasing kiosk and online rentals I put as long-term assets. They will start to depreciate, but I hope they are bringing in a lot of rent throughout the years. The quick loan repayment is the key for this. The faster I pay it off, the faster I get to that 12,251 in my retained earnings being positive instead of negative after the second year would be pretty crucial. So this is how it would pan out within 3 years, and then after that, it's all up from there. So this probably isn't too impressive, but year 4, year 5 would definitely look a lot more impressive as far as revenue. So my final decision, right now I'm probably not financially ready to make such an investment, since the startup costs are so large. But definitely once I get some money flow, start getting ready, I would definitely think this is the best long-term revenue investment I can possibly think of. There's definitely expensive, but not as many as compared to other businesses out there. And with the technology, with the different things I plan to incorporate, I think this is easy to manage. Definitely gonna have some difficulties along the way, but um, from what I can tell, from what working in this industry has taught me, is that this is a great investment and something that is definitely growing in the industry. So that's my presentation on Davis Self-Storage and the self-storage industry in the Phoenix area. Here's some references I used to do so. Thanks.